من مدينة الرياض ننطلق برحلة مع مجموعة من رجال الأعمال والمستثمرين، نستعرض من خلالها تجربة متعددة الجوانب لمفهوم جودة الحياة والتعايش في مدن المملكة ومناطقها المختلفة. انطلقنا برحلتنا آخذين ضمن حساباتنا عالم الاستثمار وفرصه بالمملكة، لتكون ميزانية المملكة مفتاح البدء لدخول هذا العالم ومستقبله، وكيف تعكس أرقام الميزانية مستقبل الاستثمار في المملكة. How the annual budget numbers contribute to reading the future of investment in Saudi Arabia.
The opportunities for private sector is there. They just need to make sure that they design their offering to meet the demand of the people. If you look at just the last 2 or 3 months and the events that have happened, whether it is in the tourism side and the entertainment and sports, the demand still way more than the supply. Demand in technology and technology offering in Saudi Arabia. We have a young population who are very well supporters of new technology offering. So I think the demand will continue to be there.
كانت أرقام الميزانية أشبه بأكواد فتحت أبواب التساؤل لدى مجموعة من رجال الأعمال والمستثمرين.
Are there any plans, PIF is invested in Hapag-Lloyd, are there any plans for investments in traditional but well-growing and well-known international brands and companies in Germany and Europe?
They actually pull the private sector with them. They focus on projects where the private sector are either doesn't want to be the first mover in new sectors where it has not been actually developed yet, or in mega projects where it is too heavy for the private sector alone to go into. They are investing in conventional investments. They invested in Europe in hospitality.
حوار غني بالأرقام والفرص الاستثمارية الكبرى التي كان مشروع الجدية واحداً منها، والذي كان محطتنا التالية في هذه الرحلة. الجدية أكبر مدينة ترفيهية في العالم، تتجاوز مساحة ديزني لاند بما يقارب 3 أضعاف. فكرة نسابق الزمن لترجمتها على أرض الواقع، لتكون أيقونة ترفيهية ورياضية وثقافية في المنطقة، حيث ستستقبل زوارها على مدار الساعة. So Qiddiya is about more. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we like to say Qiddiya is so much more. When we first started this project, the initial perception of the project, people just thought about it being maybe one roller coaster, and that was such an oversimplification of what we're trying to do here. So we've been promoting the idea that Qiddiya is so much more. It's so much more than you might have thought it was going to be, and so much more than sort of anybody's individual imagination can hold. And if we can do that, we can get you to come back again and again and again to do things and see things that you might not have otherwise ever encountered.
Interesting. Do you feel proud to be leading such a groundbreaking project in Saudi Arabia?
It's a very rewarding thing to be associated with ideas and projects that are so big and so bold and so powerful. It's a particularly rewarding thing to be surrounded by a group of people that have that see in their own future something that they've always wanted and are willing to work really hard to get it. And so it's really my job to sort of help them make those visions and dreams that they have come to life. And so it's a very rewarding thing to do, for sure.
Do they inspire you?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can see it in their faces.
Absolutely.
You've met a few of them here today, and I get to see that every day.
It was a great pleasure, even meeting you as well. Can you share with us the Saudization strategy established by Qiddiya?
Sure. Qiddiya is part of Vision 2030, and at the end, Vision 2030 is all about the strengthening and enhancement of the future of the economy. So by definition, Saudization is an important part of that.
Absolutely.
So we're approaching that on a number of ways. We're entering into new industries where maybe the skills of the workforce aren't yet prepared for what we're doing. So in that way, we are taking on the initiative of developing the workforce, everything from educational programs to training programs in order to prepare local Saudis that are interested in becoming part of this segment of the economy so that they're prepared in a few years to take on leadership positions. In other instances, we're searching the world for sort of the best and brightest experienced talent in very specialized areas and pairing them up with Saudis and allowing that growth and education process to happen while we're still very productive relative to sort of bringing the expertise to bear.
Can you tell us something we don't know about Qiddiya?
You probably don't know that we have the world's largest projection mapping system right outside the doors here.
No,
at
I don't know.
But
that's interesting.
But that's one thing. It's also 334 square kilometers, so it's by far the largest project of its type anywhere in the world. We're sitting right here on the outskirts of the city of Riyadh. So
are we competing?
Located.
Are we competing with anyone in the region or even around the world?
The way we think about it is, for Saudi citizens, the competition is every place else they currently go when they take their money and they get on an airplane and they go someplace else in search of what we're going to deliver in larger scale at a higher quality level right here. So we view our competition as the rest of the world, and our mission is to deliver something that's easier for the Saudi customer to get to at a quality level that's as good or better as anything they can find anywhere else.
If you would describe yourself with one word, what would it be?
Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
معلومات أثارت فضول بعض المستثمرين الذين كانت لهم انطباعاتهم وآرائهم الخاصة حول جدوى الاستثمار بالمملكة.
This vision of 2030, which has been well advertised and it's been ongoing already for a few years. We see opportunities on different sectors and different geographies. Obviously, this opening from Saudi Arabia is very well come for private investors. They are brand new in a way. The opening of the capital markets from the Saudi side a few years ago opened as well. The opportunities for corporate sector to get invested is different from many other places. Global environment as well today with lower yields and fewer opportunities across the board makes Saudi a great way of looking at investments.
إلى الصحراء التي تحولت إلى مدينة صناعية متكاملة، إلى رأس الخير، المدينة التي تحتضن أكبر المجمعات الصناعية التعدينية في العالم، والتي تصدر صناعاتها للأسواق العالمية عبر أحدث ميناء صناعي في المملكة. بنى تحتية صناعية شكلت عامل جذب لانتباه المستثمرين. So, Mohammed, it's your first visit to Saudi Arabia. How do you see it?
It's fantastic. I mean, I've never imagined Saudi to be this way. Riyadh, especially, to see the bustling people movement around, see the amount of business that goes around is amazing.
For you, how do you perceive the opportunities in the investment sector in Saudi?
I think it's tremendous. If you look at every single area, industrialization, tourism, there are multiple opportunities for investors in Saudi. For us as bond investors and equity investors, just from these few days, I've just managed to see there are multiple opportunities within tourism, within industrialization, petrochemicals. So it's, I think, an area where a lot of people didn't know a lot about when it comes to Saudi. You knew that these were big industries, but you didn't know the investment opportunities until you come and see it for yourself.
Absolutely. Do you feel welcomed as an investor here?
Absolutely. Saudi has always been for us, at least in Malaysia, a point of pilgrimage. But now I think we're seeing it more as a point of business, point of even for tourism with Qiddiya, for example, and several other areas. Even here in Jeddah, it seems as if it's a very vibrant community and something people can come to just to enjoy themselves.
Did you win any opportunity or commitment in business during this trip?
Not this trip, but we're looking to it. So the good thing is this trip was more for me, and I think for the company, to get to know people within Saudi, to get to know who you want to talk to in Saudi. So people like the NDMC, the National Debt Management Center, for example, have done a fantastic job to make themselves known to the international community, to make the international community aware of the work they do. So trips like this, visits like this are fantastic for us to get to know Saudi better.
What project really got your interest the most?
I think Qiddiya was one. The sheer size of the project was one. But I think what it really entailed to me was the opportunities you had even within Saudi to bring back, consumer spending, to bring back tourism that was already spent outside of Saudi, to bring it back internally and to create jobs. So that was one. But I think if you look at the Riyadh Metro itself, to be able to do all those lines in one go, and for us in Malaysia, we had to do it in separate lines, but to do it in one go is a fantastic, effort by the Saudi government to hopefully increase quality of living, but increase accessibility as well.
Do you think Saudi is misunderstood as a country?
I think it's a bit of both, right? I think to a certain extent, people don't come here to understand Saudi culture, to understand what Saudi has to offer. But it's also perhaps because in the past, it hasn't been as open as it is right now. So for me, for example, getting a visa to come to Saudi is much more easier now. And I think that opens a lot of avenues for people to understand Saudi more. And I've said with the NDMC, they're looking out to explain, how Saudi does business, to explain how Saudi sees investments as well. So it's a two-way approach, and it should help to get people to understand.
So now when you go back to Malaysia, what will you say about Saudi?
I've always said good things about Saudi. We are investors in several Saudi companies. The Aberdeen Standard Investments are investors in SABIC, Al Marai, most recently Arabian Centers. So we've always had a good understanding of the Saudi business. Being here gave us an even better understanding of that. So I'm going home thinking we've got an even closer connection to the government, to the NDMC now, which makes the communication easier and makes investing a lot easier for us.
لم تكن المملكة وجهة استثمارية فقط، بل وجهة تشمل الترفيه والسياحة، وجهة تفتح ذراعيها لتستقبل كل زائر. What brings Tor Svensson to Saudi Arabia?
Well, first in business and pleasure, both. Number one, the boxing match, as you can see here at the Diriyah, which was a fantastic experience in your purpose-built arena, and it was amazing to participate in that first event of actually boxing coming to Saudi Arabia. I had a fantastic experience and wish to come back. So, and then besides that, the business side, which is to look into how I can advise investors best in the big world for what kind of industry sectors, what kind of plays that are available for foreign direct investment in Saudi Arabia today, and look into how corporate investors could benefit from the opening up of, amongst others, these PPP type investments, public-private partnerships, and the strategic relationships that are opening up for corporates and also for institutional investors here in the kingdom.
Do you feel welcomed as an investor in Saudi Arabia?
Very much so. I can see the transition and the transformation and the general improvement in the investment environment from I first came here about 25 plus years ago in the early 90s. And at that point, I, as an investment banker, were pitching, if you will, outwards investments, fund investments to your sovereign wealth funds and to high net worth individuals and to institutional investors here. And then that has changed now to a situation where obviously the kingdom is looking for inwards investments from foreigners to come in and join up and participate in this great plan of yours for how to create a sustainable economy and how to create a smart economy, a smart city, and a knowledge-based economy.
How do you perceive the investment opportunities in Saudi Arabia with the vision of 2030?
Well, I think number one, it's a very applaudable plan, really, and it's to create a sustainable market economy and to spur that innovation that is so important for any society now, and almost quantum leap and use that great plan. And I really applaud it. And first and foremost, I applaud the way that it can actually be carried out. Because one thing is making a beautiful McKinsey plan, but the next thing is how do we actually put it into function under the restrictions of capital and of time and of labor, and getting all those wheels to get into motion is a challenge, but you're doing so well, and the progress I can see over these last 25 years is absolutely amazing, a great transformation.
So you believe in the change that's happening in Saudi Arabia?
Very much so. And I think, the boxing was just an example of content and soft economy coming into the equation. It's not all about technology, and it's not all about construction and infrastructure. It's also about building the softer side of it, the cultural side, and the media and software, if you will.
I want to say thank you to everyone in Saudi Arabia. I want to say thank you.
من شرق المملكة إلى غربها، حيث كان للاستثمار مفاهيم عدة، أبرزها استثمار الاقتصاد المعرفي، حيث تنوعت المشاريع الاستثمارية للاقتصاد المعرفي كونها أصبحت أحد المعايير الهامة لقياس مستوى تقدم الأمم وتصنيفها، وأحد أنواع الاستثمار الذي يعزز الاقتصاد الوطني في ظل التنافسية العالمية الشديدة. How much would you make as an investment banker in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I mean, look, the country, the kingdom is a great opportunity. Lots of financing to do. We've just been involved as a joint broker on the Saudi Aramco. This is the history, right? This is the biggest transaction ever seen by man, and we're now seeing performance on secondary. This year, we've seen a lot of transaction made by financing that corporates like Al Marai. We've seen Saudi Telecom to the international market. So 2019 was a good year for
Absolutely.
Saudi opportunities, as you call it.
Overall, do you think Saudi is a misunderstood country?
I would not say that. I think there's a lot of press. You can read a lot. You can come to the country like we're doing. I don't think it's misunderstood. I think the new visas are very interesting, and people now can come easily from something like 60 different countries. So I think that will contribute. There's a big effort on tourism, so it will be easier, if you will, for people to come here and actually see by themselves. We took some investors. There was a lot of press this week. I think that's a very good way to really show what it is. And we visited 3 regions. I had not been to the east. I had been to Daman, but not.
It's your first time in
First time in Jeddah, right? So actually in the same week to see the 3 regions was fantastic. And I've been really impressed with how much energy, and it's not a joke, a lot of energy with all the people we met. The pace, everybody's on an urgent task, trying to do a lot of work, and it's fantastic to see. I don't think it's misunderstood. I think it's almost a new country.
Or maybe stereotyped.
I'm French. Everything is stereotyped. Each country has their stereotype. So no, I don't think so.
But when you come and see, that misconception change.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, you understand more. I mean, I read a lot of books. I read on every country I visit. I don't know. I think there's always more we can do for any country. And but I mean, next year G20, right? So the kingdom will be the story of the year in 2020.
Absolutely. Have you won any commitment business on this trip?
I think finance and banking, it's about trust, right? You will not give your money or your key projects to people you don't know, you don't trust. So I think you earn that trust by meeting and then by doing, right? So we've been involved as HSBC SAB for years and years and years. As you know, we are one of the largest banks in the country. So hopefully we earn that trust.
As a global co-head of debt capital markets, global banking, which one objective do you hope to accomplish in the Saudi market?
Yeah, we really want to bring new names to the market. So for us this year, when we bring to the dollar investor Al Marai, one of the largest corporates, or Saudi Telecom or Samba Bank to the market, so we were very proud. And if 2020 we can bring more names, people who have not yet seen international investors, who have not yet financed themselves in euros or in dollars, we'll be very happy.
Last thing you want to share with us?
It was a fantastic trip. It's 4 days. We are really tired. we saw so much. And everybody, the food is fantastic.
Yes.
I'm French, I love food.
You love Kopsa?
Yeah.
You like Kopsa?
Yeah, today it
Yes.
was good. Yeah. And actually, we were in a very good hotel today in Jeddah for lunch. People have been fantastic.
هنا نصل آخر محطاتنا، رحلة شملت مناطق المملكة ومدناً مختلفة فيها، تجربة متنوعة عشنا خلالها لحظات مليئة بالطموح والفرص، لحظات تختصر التنوع ورؤى المستقبل لموطن الفرص، موطن الاستثمار.